Hey everyone that's logged on right now. Good morning. We are going to give people about 2 minutes to hop on. So we'll be starting the presentation at 10:02. I'll say it again for those of you that are hopping on right now. We're going to give people more time to hop onto the Zoom. We'll be starting the presentation at 10:02. For those of you that have just hopped on, we'll be starting in 1 minute. So at 10:02. Alrighty, folks, it's 10:02. I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera on. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone has had a lovely week so far. We'd like to welcome you all to our first brown bag training um, for the reporting year 2025 of the electronic annual report. Before we get started, I do want to highlight a couple of items. First, these brown bags where we will be covering or going over the sections that are found in the eAR we are going to be giving a general overview. We won't be going into every single question that is found in the within this section. We'll just be highlighting some key items. But if you do want more help with guiding you through each question, our team does have tutorial videos that are posted on the eAR website. And we highly recommend that you take a look at those. Also, if you have any questions more related to you're unsure what information or data to put in the electronic annual report, that we recommend that you contact your regulating agency as they are the ones who will be able to help you in figuring out what information needs to go into the eAR. Second item is that for these brown bag trainings, these are, again, I've already said this, but we will be going over what is in the report. Any questions that are related to WB key registration or how to add a water system to your account. You can find those instructions on the eAR website, and Sydney will be going over where to find the WB Key training recording that we posted on our website, and also the Q&A transcript that we posted online. Alrighty, we can go ahead and begin. If Thank you, Wendy. Okay, this is our customer service team. Most of you, maybe for those of you who have been joining us for the past 3 or 4 years, you may already be familiar with our faces, specifically Wendy Kilu, who is our logistics lead, Gabriela Gutierrez, myself, and then Jonathan Swady, who unfortunately couldn't make it today. And then we do have a new face who is a new face with us today, which is Sydney Sally. She is the new eAR customer service team member. Next slide. You will be able to participate in this presentation One is you can submit a question using the Q&A feature at the bottom of your Zoom screen, and two, raising your hand, and you'll be given the opportunity to provide a verbal comment or question. We do ask that if you raise your hand that you wait, apologies, wait for your name to be called on. Ooh. Next slide. The discussion topics that we will be covering today are we're going to be giving you a eAR process overview, how to navigate to the eAR website, general assistance, and then we'll be giving you an overview of sections 1 through 7, and then eAR dates of interest. And then at the end, we will be opening it up for questions and answers. And throughout this section, we are going to be pausing to answer any questions related to these slides that we cover. But in the end, we will still be having the opening it up for questions and answers. Okay. So eAR process overview. You can go ahead, Wendy, go to the next slide. Thank you. Who are the water system reporters? We have administrators, could be the owners of a water system. Also, legal could be reporting. Any emergency contacts may also be reporting in the eAR. Financial contacts, operators, and also funding. Next slide. Thank you. eAR reporter process. So this is the process that all of you may be going through right now. You start an eAR, then you submit your eAR. Once you submit your eAR is reviewed by your regulating agency that is assigned to your water system. And then either your eAR gets approved and then your eAR is completed if it's approved, or once your regulating agency reviews it, and if they decide or they found some errors or in your eAR, they will send it back for revisions. And then you will make those revisions. And one key important thing is that after you make the revisions, you still have to submit your eAR again. We have found in the past years that some water systems uh, forget to resubmit after making those revisions. So after you make those revisions, please remember to resubmit again. And then after resubmitting it, again, your regulating agency will review those revisions. And if they're approved, then your eAR is completed. If not, then it'll be sent back. But yeah, that's the eAR reporter process. Next slide. And then the emails that you will be receiving, these are for started and submitted. So when your eAR has been started or your eAR has been submitted, you should receive an email letting you know. Anyone that is assigned to the water system will be receiving emails letting you know, hey, this person so-and-so started the eAR. And then second, this person has submitted the eAR. Next slide. And then we have oops, there's a typo where it says start and submitted. And then we have if your system was rejected, or not your report was rejected, you have to make revisions. You'll receive an email letting you know that there are some revisions that need to be made. And then once those revisions are made, or if you didn't have to make any revisions and your regulating agency approved your eAR, you will also receive an email that your eAR has been approved. Okay, I don't see any questions in the chat, so Sydney, I will go ahead and give you the mic.
Good morning, everyone. I will be going over how to navigate the Water Board's eAR website. So go ahead. All right, so this is what the website will look like when you first log on or join. There'll be different accordions, which you can see in the red box. Those are drop downs that will give you more information about each one of those topics. And on the right, you can see that you will find our eAR customer service forms, which you can fill out to get help from our team. And then below that, we also have important dates and events that you will want to note, like the eAR release date, technical assistance deadline, etc. Next slide, please. Okay, so the first accordion is the login and reporting information. Under this accordion, you can see that we have a WB Key registration training webinar recording. So if you have questions about how to get into the eAR portal, this training will be for you. We will not be discussing that in this webinar, but you can find that recording there. This accordion also discusses what information is collected in each section, which you can see in the gray boxes. So section 1, introduction, it'll go over what will be collected. Next slide, please. The next accordion is background and frequently asked questions. This includes the history of the eAR, the stakeholders, and an FAQ document, which we highly recommend you review, which you can see below. And it's been recently updated. Next slide, please. The next accordion is the eAR technical assistance resources. You can see here, to help you complete your annual report, we have a user guidance document, as well as the eAR report worksheet, which is a downloadable spreadsheet that has replaced the blank template. And so that includes all questions in the eAR with directions and columns in which you can put your information and data. In this accordion, we also have help tips, which are found there on the right with a little icon. We also have additional resources that can be found on the eAR portal, which will be discussed later. You can also see there are tutorial videos for each section, which we highly recommend you watch if you have questions about each section. They go into more detail. And you can also apply for technical assistance from our team to help you complete the eAR. And this application opened on February 1st, and the deadline to apply is March 1st. In that red box, you can see that highlighted. We have listed the eligible water systems, and then on the right, the prioritized water systems. So we highly encourage that you apply for technical assistance if you need it and qualify. Next slide, please. Another accordion on the eAR website is eAR data downloads. This just is for anyone who uses eAR data. You can access the 2023-2024 eAR data found there with each section. Next slide, please. And finally, you can subscribe to our distribution listserv. And so if you see that right there in the upper right in the red box, you click that and you can input your email and get put on our distribution list to receive emails about the eAR and other important information. Next slide, please. To do so, you'll be clicking that link, inputting your email, verifying your email, and then you can choose an optional password. Next slide, please. From here, you can choose the topics of which you'd like to subscribe to. So if you can see in the red, that's the electronic annual report general, but you can subscribe to any of the drinking water programs like SAFER or program fees, etc. Next slide, please. And then you can manage your subscription here, and you can log into your account. And yeah, you'll receive emails from this email address down at the bottom. All right, I think I'm done. Thank you, everyone.
Good morning, everybody. I'm just trying to get my camera on. There we go. Oops, no. There we go. Good morning, everyone. I am filling in for Jonathan this morning. He couldn't make it, and I'm going to talk to you all about how to get general assistance via the eAR portal homepage. So when you log into your eAR, you'll see this splash page, and that is in what we call the eAR portal. And there's a bunch of links near the top of the screen that help guide you to various items. Some of these items, like the eAR Assistant Water Board's website, that's just going back to our eAR website. First link here is a user guidance document. As Sydney mentioned, it's also the link is also on our website, but you can also access it via the eAR portal screen. Frequently asked questions, again, it's also on our website, but a link is here, and like she said, the guidance document was just updated. The technical assistance reporting for reporting to DDW is also located here, and that is what Sydney just went over. It goes to the application that you can fill out to see if you qualify for getting assistance through our third-party provider. Again, we highly encourage, if you're a system that is really struggling and need technical assistance, they can help you if you qualify. And we really encourage it. We don't get a lot of people asking for it, so give it a try, see if you qualify. And they go from start to finish, helping you fill out your eAR. This is the screenshot of what the technical assistance request form is for the third-party provider. It is due March 1st, and it is fairly easy to fill out. And again, if you have questions, there is, I believe, on here, possibly, I think on here somewhere, I think on our website too, there's a email address if you have questions about it. If default, you can always send it to us and we can get it to the right person. So on our homepage, again, like I mentioned, you can go to request this on our website on this accordion here, requesting technical assistance. And again, here's the link to the application. And oh yeah, here's the email address on below the red arrow where you can, if you have questions about filling out the application, you can contact them. Like Gabby mentioned earlier, if you have some questions, specific questions in a section, it's best that you contact your regulating agency. And if you don't know who that is, you can go under resources on our website, and you'll see regulator assistance, and you can either click on district office contact. That's if you're regulated by the state. Some water systems are regulated by their county, and if they don't know how to get a hold of them, they can click on this second arrow here and look for your regulating agency on what county you're in. So there is a way on how you can find out your regulating agency, especially for those who are new to reporting to the drinking water program. On the eAR portal, when you log in to the eAR, there's a public drinking water watch link. And you click on that and you'll see the screen right below. You type in either your system number or system name, and it will pull up the, excuse me, the information of your system, and you see the red box, that is your regulating agency contact information. Again, we're always here to help you, our customer service team. We do try to get responses done within a day, but sometimes responses take, depending on our load. As you can see, there's only 4 of us. We can take up to possibly 3 days to get back to you, but we really try not to. We try to get back to you within the day. So to get a hold of us, there is on each eAR report page at the bottom, there's a click here to get assistance with this section, and it will open up the customer service request form, and we ask that you fill out this form and try to be as specific as what you're needing assistance on or in. It's a fairly short form, so we hope it's not too much of a burden. And then you can also contact us by email if you we prefer the customer service form, but if you just have a really quick question, you can definitely email us through the eAR email listed below here. You can also get our email on the eAR splash page by looking at the help drop down at the top of the web page there with the red circle, and it says contact us, and that will open up an email um, uh, form, not form, but open up your email so that you can send us an email. I'm going to hand it off to Gabby. She's going to talk to you about an overview of sections 1 through 7. It looks like we also don't have any questions pending, so I'm going to hand the mic to you, Gabby. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you, Wendy. Okay, you can go to the next slide, Wendy. So the slide that you're looking at right now is just a screenshot of the top of the eAR. It shows all the tabs that are found in the electronic annual report. And then also we want to highlight that which questions are mandatory and conditionally. So any questions that are highlighted yellow are mandatory questions that must be answered. And then the questions that are highlighted in this salmon color, those are conditionally mandatory questions. So questions that based on your previous questions, these questions are now required. And then any missed mandatory or conditionally mandatory questions, they will show up if you get to the finalized page and you missed any questions. They will show up on the finalized page and they'll show up as errors. So you can't submit until you've answered all the questions that are in the eAR that are mandatory or could be conditionally mandatory because of other questions you've answered. And then going through each tab at the bottom, you can save and exit, and then also you can go to the next section. And then something else I do want to let you all know that there is a clear and reset for each section. We do ask that you be careful if to not press this button unless you mean to, because once this button is selected, we can't recover the information that you input for that section. And then as Wendy mentioned, at the bottom of each section, you'll see the link that says click here to get assistance with this section, which will open up the customer service request form. Okay, next slide.
And Gabby, sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt. Did you tell them about the link for the last year's report at the top?
Oh, no, I did not.
Yes, I can
But,
say something real
okay.
quick about it. Yeah, so if you have or you want to refer to the report last year's and see what was entered for specific fields, or if you have a question on what was entered for last year's report, you can click on that to view last year's report. Click here at the top of each page. We'll have that, and you can open that and reference that report.
Thank you,
Oops.
Wendy. Yep. Okay, so now going into the sections. So section 1 is the intro. You'll find water system information. And as you can see, there are 2 fields that are mandatory to answer. And then we have the section B, which is the disadvantaged community fee reduction application and determination, which I'm going to be covering in more detail in the next slides. And then we have the report started by at the bottom of section 1. We do want to let you guys know that for this report started by the fields, once a report, whoever opens the report first, that is the name that will be registered in this in these fields. And though the name and any of the data that's in there cannot be changed for the report started by. The same for the submitted. Whoever submitted, that's the information that gets saved. So those cannot be changed.
And sorry, Gabby, I don't know if you mentioned this before. Just to clarify for the attendees, the gray areas in section A and in other parts of the report, when you see pre-filled information, it can come from SWRCB, which is our database of record. And I don't know if you're going to mention this in future slides. I just want to preface that that information, if it's incorrect, uh, we would have to contact the regulating agency to make those changes in our database of records. So if you have questions about that, um, definitely contact your regulator. But if you don't know, again, you can always send us an email and we can forward your email to them when you have concerns. We do find this in the next section that Gabby's going to talk about contacts. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay, so we're still in section 1. The disadvantage. So now I'm going to be going into the details about applying for a disadvantaged community fee reduction with application. Oh, Wendy, go back. Um, but before we go into the application, we do want to highlight that there is a possible upcoming change to the DAC determination. We know we mentioned this in the last reporting year in the presentations that we did last year with you all. The the changes got pushed for another year. So there should be a change that's coming for the fiscal year 2026 and 2027, where the state board will now be determining the status of a community water system, their DAX status specifically. And but that won't be affecting the 2025-2026 billing invoices that went out in December. Also, I want to highlight that this disadvantaged community fee reduction is only for community water systems that are regulated by the state. Next slide. If you want to stay up to date with these proposed regulation changes that will be coming up, you can subscribe to be part of the drinking water program fees mailing list. So you can get to it just how Sydney showed us earlier in the presentation. You enter your email address, and then under drinking water, you click on drinking water program fees. And of course, you can click on any other of these topics, but specifically if you want to stay updated with the DAC fee regulation updates, we highly recommend that you subscribe to the list. Next slide. Okay, so DAC fee reduction requirements and system classifications. For small water systems, they are fewer than 1,000 service connections, and a large water system, it has 1,000 or more service connections. The applications, they must be submitted directly by the water system. Any applications that are submitted through through your regulating agency on behalf of your water system, they will not be accepted. And the breakdown of small and large, they apply into the next slides. So next slide, Wendy. So for new requests for DAC fee reduction, so this means you are currently not receiving a DAC fee reduction. Whether you're a small water system or a large water system, you must check the disclaimer box and must complete and upload a DAC certification form. And that DAC certification form is found where the red arrow is showing click here. You click on that and it'll open up the application. And then you'll upload the application into this section of the eAR. Next slide. This is what the application looks like. Please make sure that you fill in each field because any missing information will risk will you'll run the risk of failing to receive a DAC fee reduction. So be sure you put in your water system name, ID, MHI, where you got that MHI data source from, and then make sure to sign date and the other fields as well. So please try to be sure to fill all those fields out. It also makes the review of these applications much easier for us. Okay, so for small water systems, again, this means water systems that their service connections are less than 1,000. Um, you only have to check the disclaimer box as shown. So that's all you have to do. So this is if you're a small water system that has less than 1,000 service connections and you're currently receiving a DAC fee reduction for that you currently receiving and you received your DAC fee reduction invoice for the 25-26, all you have to do is check the box there. Next slide. For large water systems, so this is water systems with 1,000 or more service connections that are currently receiving a DAC fee reduction for billing cycle 25-26. You have to both check the disclaimer box and also complete and upload the DAC certification form. Next slide. If the water system does not meet the requirements, you will not receive a DAC fee reduction. The review of the DAC fee applications, they start in August, and then based on the Division of Drinking Water's review, systems that are approved will get DAC fee reduction that will be applied to their 2026-2027 invoice, and which those invoices are normally mailed in December. Next slide. So that's the ending of us going over section 1. Now for section 2, for contacts. You can, for the contacts, you can edit or remove contacts. The two arrows, the first one that's shown is you can click on that and it'll remove a contact, or you click if there's any edits that need to be made for a contact that you see. You can click on that and make those edits. Also, you can, if you scroll down to subsection B, you can add any new contacts. And then if you see that you've made changes in your past reporting years and they're not being reflected in the current reporting year. So let's say you made a change in the reporting year 2024 and you go into your reporting year 2025 and you're in contacts and you're like, wait, I had updated this last reporting year. Why isn't it? Why is it still the same? We ask that you contact your regulating agency as they are the ones who are responsible for making these changes. And then again, if you can also email us to let us know that your contacts aren't correct and we can forward you to your regulating agency so they can make those changes. Next slide. Section 3, population. As Wendy mentioned, what's in the gray fields, those are what are being pulled in from our database of records and what was reported in the last reporting year. So what's in there, those numbers cannot be changed. We've had a few water systems who have tried to make changes to these gray fields. Unfortunately, that can't be changed. That's just what we have in our database of record currently. For any updates, you can update them in the salmon colored fields. We do want to highlight that there's a change for population served based on the classification of your water system. So on that help tip, um, apology, I just realized the arrow's kind of covering it, but there's a little question mark next to population type. And when you click on that, it'll open up the help tip, which says for community water systems, you will only be able to enter residential population. If your water system is classified as a non-transient, non-community water system, you'll only be able to enter residential and non-transient populations. And if your water system is classified as a transient non-community water system, you may only enter the residential, non-transient, and/or transient populations for your water system. And lastly, if your water system is classified as a wholesaler, you may only enter wholesale or residential populations for your water system. The screenshot here is just, it's a community water system. So you're only seeing the fields of residential. But if your water system was NTNC, you'd both see a field for the residential and a field for non-transient populations. And then if any of your numbers for your population count change, be sure to update your method of how you use to determine the population. Next slide. Now we're in section 4, number of service connections. We have section A, which is the active service connections. You have your type of service connections, and then the service connections that are unmetered and metered. And then we also have section B, which is number of inactive connections. Next slide. Oh, and I did forget, Wendy, after section 3, is there any questions that are or section 4? I was going to pause to see if there's any questions that need to
Yes,
be answered.
actually.
Yeah.
Thank you. There was a couple questions I wanted to answer live. Um, An attendee asked, would you please define small SWS, which means small water system? Sometimes it's used for just above 1,000 connections, sometimes less. Thank you. Yes, small water system definitions varies between what program you're talking about. For example, funding, electronic annual report, US EPA. So um, we in the eAR refer to small water system of less than 1,000 service connections. And then anything above or equal to 1,000 service connections is a large water system. So that is just for the eAR, and just know that other programs within drinking water could have a little bit different definitions for large and small. Another item was after we open up last year's report, is there a way to save as a PDF? Um, I don't know if we have time to demo this, but I know it is um, in the user guidance, I believe, on how to download to a PDF. If you want to open that up and check it out, it gives you directions on how to download your eAR to a PDF. And if you still need assistance, again, always just shoot us an email. We can guide you through it. Um, and then can you please explain where the TNC population should be entered for NTNC systems? Um, do NTNCs ignore their TNC population? So um, there's entry rules for the based on the water system that you're classified as. You can only enter certain populations for that water system. So if you're in TNC, I believe you can only enter
Residential and non-transient populations.
correct. If you have a TNC population, that is not, you're not able to enter that in. The This was a new uh, enhancement that was entered in this year to help with our monitoring, um, water quality monitoring framework, and having some consistency. So to get help with that and looking at what you can and can't enter, the help tip has that all listed out. I hope that helps, Nicole. Um, they're coming in. Um, Community water system in a residential neighborhood, but many Airbnbs, estimate the number per. those households? No. Community water system residential connections is basically your connections to the distribution system. So again, a community system is the amount of service connections you have to your mains, not Airbnb. It's not the people in the house. Oh wait, you're talking about population. I'm sorry. I think that uh yeah, the population. I believe there's going back, if you're talking about population, click on the little help tip, and that should help you manage your population. If you still need assistance on figuring out your population for a community water system, um, again, shoot us an email, or you can contact your regulator and they can assist you on figuring that out. There's some calculations in our regulations that help, and I believe those are in our help tips. I hope that helped. It looks like I got a thumbs up at least. Um, I think that's it for now,
Okay.
Gabby. So let's go
Okay.
ahead and move on.
Okay, so now we're on section 5, which is source inventory. And this can be different if you are a large water system or a small water system, specifically with section A. So if you are a large water system, section A will be your large water system source inventory. So you'll be inputting the type of either active groundwater intakes, active surface water intakes that are raw or wells, and etc. And then the ones, oh, Wendy, you're on the wrong slide. Um, I was still on large water systems. Previous, yeah. And then on the right-hand side is what the fields that you'll be putting in. So total number of active and so on and so on. And also you can put in the comment, discuss changes to above sources. You can enter comments into there. Next slide. For your small water systems, your section A will look slightly different. Or not slightly, it does look very, very different. So for what you'll be seeing is you'll be seeing your groundwater source inventory that's currently existing. And I guess, and again, what's in here is what we have in our database of record. Um, and then with table A2 is if there are any updates to your water systems, ground source inventory, or even your surface water inventory. Um, you can make those updates where Jonathan here has circled with the plus, the red circle with the plus sign. You can make those updates to your source inventories. And the same thing I already mentioned, you do it both for groundwater and for surface water inventories. Next slide. And then section B, and Wendy, please correct me if I'm wrong. Section B is the same for large water systems and small water systems. They see the same.
Yes.
Okay. Section B is source metering and well monitoring. So you'll answer those questions. And as you can see, the first two are mandatory questions. And then the rest are not mandatory questions. And then section C is standby source use. Um, and then if you need to add any new standby sources, you can do that with by clicking on the plus sign where is circled in red. Next slide. Section 6, which was in the eAR and it was the water supply and delivery section, is now in the Safer Clearinghouse portal. To complete your supply and delivery questions, which is now known as the annual inventory report that is in the Safer Clearinghouse, you can click on that link that we have there. That's in the red square. And if you don't have a Safer Clearinghouse account, you will need to create one in order to to submit your annual inventory report. And again, I believe we've discussed this in previous webinars, but the eAR and the Clearinghouse portal, they're two separate portals. So if you submit your electronic annual report, that does not mean you submitted your annual inventory report and vice versa. They both have to be submitted. And then now section 7. Recycled water use based on what you put for the question, for the very first question. If you put yes, it'll open up all the questions and fields that are on the shown in the screenshot on the right hand side. And then if you click no or don't know, that is all that's all that you will have to answer. It'll just be the first question, and then you'll move on to the next section. Okay, Wendy.
Okay. Well, thank you, Gabby and Sydney. Again, this was a presentation reviewing some overview of our eAR portal website. And then we went into an overview of our section 1 through 7. We want to let you know that we do have the upcoming number 2 brown bag training on February 26th. And that's again at 10 to 11. And it will be covering section 8 only. So if you are required to fill out section 8 and have questions, please attend this brown bag. Also, we highly recommend to maybe visit our resource page and view the section 8 tutorial videos prior to that meeting. It would help you understand what already are required to enter, and then you can bring some of your questions to us in that meeting. We will have a subject matter expert for that section to help assist users in filling out that section. Again, a lot of the how we're structuring these webinars is we're really hitting on some of the key areas of each sections, highlighting areas where we've noticed reporters having issues. So that section, we won't be going into detail of each question because there is a lot of logic behind that section. So our subject matter expert will be going over some key sections where they have seen reporters needing assistance or needs to the data that we're getting may be not correct. So we look forward to having you if you are required to fill out that section. If you're a non-community water system, then Section 8 is not required.
Wendy,
It's,
we got several questions, and I know Sydney's already
yeah.
responded to them, but what is Section 8 is what
Oh,
we
I'm
got about
sorry.
4.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
probably be helpful. It's regarding financial information of a water system. And
Yeah,
yeah,
so it's split into Section A, which I believe is customer charges, is 8A. Section B is income, and then Section C is affordability.
thank you, Gabby. Again, another reminder, technical assistant applications are due March 1st if you are looking at getting third-party assistance. And then we're having our third brown bag training on March 5th, and that will go over sections 9 through the end section of finalizing your eAR. And that's in that training we'll also have several subject matter experts related to specific sections for the eAR. And again, and our last reminder is April 1st is when your eAR is due to the division to be submitted. So please try to get them submitted on time. And I am going to open it up for Q&A here, see what we have. What does recycle water mean? Recycle water is when a water system has a waste, they recycle their water. They have a program, and it's usually treated, tertiary treated, but um, we don't. Our unit doesn't regulate that. That's at the field level. So if you are curious whether you provide recycled water, you would probably know it, because there's other regulatory requirements that you're required to do to provide recycled water. Does that help you, Norma? Hope. Um, is the drought report the same as the inventory report? Oh, Gabby, you're answering that. You want to answer that one, Gabby?
Yeah, I'll just go ahead. So the drought, no, the drought report and the annual inventory report are not the same report. Both reports are found in the Safer Clearinghouse portal. So if your water system is required under the technical reporting order, under the Division of Drinking Water's technical reporting order, that you have to submit a drought report. Um, I forgot where I was going with that, but you will have to also submit that report. So it's a separate from the
Hmm.
annual inventory report.
Um, I have a community public water system that went bankrupt and we can't obtain any earnings or expenditure. What do I do with that? I would ask that question at our next brown bag. If you aren't able to attend the brown bag, please send us an email and we will try to get that information to you or who to contact. There's nothing else in section 10. So yeah, section 10, we're not answering right now, but in general, if there's no yellow or salmon color sections highlighted or fields, those fields are not required. They won't provide an error, but we highly recommend that you answer the questions that you can answer, or if you have data related to those questions. If you don't, you can leave them blank. How do we know if we're required to complete Section 8? Section 8 is for community water systems. So when you click on Section 8 and it says you're, it's blank and it says this section is, I believe it says this section is for community water systems only, you can go to the next section. My company has approximately 25 public water systems, are, and there will be a new person completing the reports. How do I change all of these? Uh, Lisa, can you clarify your question of how do I change all of these? And what is these? I'm assuming changing the reports or the person. So I'll let you answer that. Um, And then do we get contact hour credit? No. Contact hours for these workshops? No, these workshops are not considered technical training. My husband was the primary and I'm now completing the eAR. Okay. Um, Lisa, can you raise your hand? And maybe we can unmute you and we can try to work through your question in more detail. I hope that you have audio. Okay. Okay, Lisa, you can unmute yourself.
Hi, Wendy. Thank
Hi.
you.
Yeah.
We have about 25 public water systems. My husband's the operator.
Okay.
However, his name's always been on there, and
Mm-hmm.
I've always done all of the reports, and he reviews and
Mm-hmm.
approves.
Okay.
But now since we have the new system where all the numbers come, all the W key, B key, the
Mm-hmm.
numbers come to your cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Can I keep his name on it and still have them come to my cell phone to log in? Because otherwise, I don't know how to change all the names to my name then if I'm completing the report, even though he's
So
the approver.
yeah, WB key is separate from EAR. EAR, you're talking about like emails coming to you as far like I'm kind of confused because WB key is a totally separate deal. If you have
I
to
know, there used to
yeah,
be the drink portal,
that was
and
years
that
ago.
was yeah, yeah, a few years ago, yeah. But now is signing in to the new one.
hmm
It's still when once you sign in, like I sign in using his ID. So can I
Okay,
continue
so
doing that?
it
Will I
would
need to have
we
to?
actually ask that each person it's it's more of a security thing. Each person needs to create a WB key account. So you sign in with your WB key account with your email or whatever you however you log in, right? And then
Mhm.
you will associate all those 25 water systems with your WB key account and with your
Perfect.
name.
Okay, because he
Okay?
doesn't even have a
Yeah.
B key
So
account, but he
so
looks at
for
all of them before they're submitted.
that's fine. You just need to create the WB key account, and then there's instructions online and videos on how to associate yourself to once you're all get the
I
WB
have
key
one
account.
al-
Okay,
I have one already for the clearinghouse.
they're separate. Like the WB key account is the same, but the portals are different. So you have to,
I just need to
yeah.
go on your page there and
hmm
find that portal.
hmm
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you
so
so much. I
go
appreciate it.
go to if you have not registered on eAR with your WB key, go to registration, watch the videos or look at our the document. There's a technical help page of and it asks you what you're trying to do, and then it'll go through all the instructions on how to connect your WB key with eAR.
Wendy,
Perfect. Thank you, Wendy. I appreciate it.
Go ahead.
Wendy, I also, Lisa, I put the video to do that into your question. So you can follow that video to do to associate your W key with eAR.
Okay. Um, just looking at here.
I think we haven't mentioned this, or
Yeah.
maybe you and Sydney did, and I just didn't hear. We are going to be posting this brown bag, today's brown bag on the eAR website, and we hope to get it posted by tomorrow, if not early next week.
Okay. I see. Oops, sorry. Ah, apologies, guys. Ugh, gosh. The presentation went nutty on me here. Um, I'm looking at David here. Sydney, you were working with David Wallace on his question and he answered something. Um, okay. Um, And David, again, I noticed you're having access issues of like WB key registration to the eAR portal. Um, we're not, unfortunately, this webinar is not really for WB key and registration troubleshooting right now. So if you can you please send us an email or customer service and we can assist you on getting assistance. Um, and we usually are able to help you all in the day. So I recommend that you reach out to us. Thank you, Dave. Are there any other questions about sections 1 through 7? Where to find stuff on our website, how to get assistance, anything to those subjects? I'll give a few seconds to let people type, or you can raise your hand and we can unmute you like we did with Linda. Yeah. Gunnar, the videos, he asked where the videos are, the tutorial videos. If you go to our eAR website, and Sydney, if you could maybe, I don't know, Gunnar, if you're on our eAR website, not the portal, but the eAR website. And I think Sydney is putting that in there. Okay, you are. You would click on technical resources, I believe.
It's just under resources.
Resources.
Yeah, it says it's resources accordion, and underneath that, it's self-guided resources, and you'll find tutorial videos underneath those, along with our user guidance document and the worksheet. So where you see the resources down to the second to the bottom, that accordion, you'll find the tutorial videos in it.
And give us a thumbs up if you found it, Gunnar. No, you don't need, Gunnar asked if you need to log in to get the videos. No, you do not need to log in. It's on a web.
And we have a hand raised, Wendy.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you. Go ahead, Rich. Rich, we have you unmuted. I don't know if you have audio connected, but we can't hear you. It looks like Rich doesn't have audio. Sorry, Rich. Oh, try. Nope, still can't hear you. Rich, if you want to try to type your question in, feel free. We'll give you a second or two or three. If not, feel free again to shoot us an email. So Rich asked, do we need to register for, I'm assuming for the Zoom sessions? And yes, all Zoom sessions, there's a registration, and you can find those registration links on our eAR website, as you can see in the lower left-hand corner of this screen. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and
If you want to show the last slide,
yeah, I'm
Wendy.
trying to. My there's our last slide. Well, thank you everybody for
Oh, there's
joining
one
us.
more slide left.
There is? No,
Yeah, it's the, oh,
no,
you put, yeah, there it is. Oh, you
right there. Yeah,
just,
this one.
yes.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. But yes, again, February 26th, 10 a.m. You can register for those on our website if you haven't already. And thank you. And we will see you on the 26th.